I'm Aiyven and I'm 11 years old. Oh wait, there's no Kirsten here today. Anyways, I'm Aiyven from the Mbawa Book Reviewers, and normally Kirsten's sitting next to me doing a video with me, but today I'm by myself because I am reading a bit of my book, Land of the Nurogons. So I'm really excited to get into this, but first I'm going to read you the blurb of this book and tell you a bit about my book. Hi, I'm Hayden Smith. I'd always considered myself to be an average high school kid. There's nothing special about me, or so I thought. But what do I know? Well, I had no idea that I'd been marked out as the chosen one. I fell into a hole and ended up in a parallel dimension, the world of Nurogonia. How would you explain to your school that you've been missing for a few days because you've been with a load of Nurogons? Now some bloke called Sasari wants to rule Nurogonia and turn it into something awful. If I don't thwart his plans, many will die. No pressure then. Told primarily from Hayden's perspective, Land of the Nurogons, written by 10-year-old Aiyven Mbawa, now 11, details the adventures of 4 ordinary teenagers as they embark on a fantasy quest to save a new world that they have come to love. That they have come to know and love from the clutches of a treacherous enemy. So that is the blurb. It does tell you quite a bit, the blurb does. But I'm just gonna go over that again. So Hayden, you can see him on the cover here. He thinks he's an ordinary boy, but on his way to the park, he hears a rumble in the distance and he starts running. And all of a sudden he falls into a black hole and enters the new world of Nurogonia. Now with the help of a few friends, he has to come and save this world from the grasps of an evil enemy that is trying to turn Nurogonia into his domain. So when you read this book, you will go on the adventures with Hayden and his friends. I'm going to start reading the first few pages of these books. I think it's 14 pages that I'm reading for you guys. So anyways, let's head straight into it. So this chapter is called, Is There Anything More to Expect? And I do have to say, this book, at first, it's just setting the scene. So we're not going to jump into any battles or anything, because I figured that that would be a bit too quick to start doing that stuff. So for the first like 90 pages or so, I know it's quite a lot, I'm kind of just setting the scene, but there's still some exciting stuff going on. So chapter 1, Is There Anything More to Expect? Wake up, Smiths! Mum yelled, ringing the bell. It was so annoying. Every morning she'd get the famous bell Gramps had given her some years back and shake it like mad till we woke up. It was slightly corroded, as the bell dated back centuries. Gramps had gotten it from his granddad. It had a wooden handle, newly polished so as not to give the hole to splinters. However, as much as we tried, Mum wouldn't allow us to polish the bell's body. She said it was a symbol of how long it had sustained. Gramps told us the bell had come from the times where there were maids in every house worthy of note, and the master or mistress used some sort of bell to summon them. Apparently, our bell was one of the few that remained. Mum kept it in a secret place, so I wouldn't be able to tell you or lose it. No one apart from her knows where the sacred bell is hidden, not even Dad. I could hear Canada groan all the way from her room opposite mine. Mum shunned my sister and carried on ringing the bell. I opened my bedroom door to see Dad walk out of his and Mum's room, stretching with an indignant look on his face, wearing the tight pajamas that he got on 7 Christmases ago. Dear, I do understand that you want us to be how should I say it, a mourning family, but that bell needs to go. There's a car boot next Saturday and I'm doing a load of... Mum stared at Dad and he knew not to say anything else. This bell is staying no matter how much it pesters you. Canada's been having fewer detentions because of this bell. She used to wake up at blimmin' 8:30. I raised my hand and Mum nodded. She created all of these bothersome actions for the mornings, raising her hands to ask to shower first, waving wanted someone else to shower, blah blah blah. Good boy, Hayden, Mum stated. Let's try to be more like Hayden, eh? She shot Dad a look and Dad shrugged his head. Fair enough. I changed into my uniform and ran downstairs, just as Mum finished making breakfast, pancakes with extra cool whipped cream and strawberries. Why such a fancy breakfast? I asked, putting a fiver in my backpack for school lunch. What, you don't like it? Mum asked. She was carrying 4 plates at once, some on her arm as well. My mum used to be a waitress, a fabulous one who worked at a 2-star Michelin restaurant. Everyone would give her tips, and because everyone who came was rich and posh, she ended up having at least £150 in the tip jar. Unfortunately, 70% of it went to the managers. No, I love the way you set out and everything, but we only ever eat pancakes at weekends. You did mention about the Keep Fit program you do at school. Didn't you say you wanted to do it at home as well? She was a PE teacher at a primary school 15 minutes away from her house. She'd asked the head teacher of the school to let her set up a health club. Every Wednesday, Mum would do stretches and all kind of exercises out in the field, like an extra PE lesson. Mum smiled. I knew that smile, and I didn't like it. It was a, you'll love this smile, and I always ended up hating it. Let's wait till Canada and your father are done, she explained, leaving me hollow and suspicious. Finally, after half an hour or so, everyone in the Smith household was ready. We were tucking into our pancakes, enjoying every nanosecond, when Mum winked at Dad and cleared her throat rather pointedly. Canada looked up from the pancake she was holding like a hungry dog. You guys? Dad grinned from ear to ear. We have some important news. Canada frowned. Well, spit it out then. She took a huge bite of her near-done pancake. We've made a decision, Dad started. This is our last meal as omnivores. Canada spat out her chewed-up pancake in shock. Me, being the most civilised child, didn't do anything but choke on my food. My sister passed me a half-drunk glass of orange juice, and I gulped the rest of it down. We're not dinosaurs, Dad. I chuckled after searching for any drops left in my drink. Canada followed with an uneasy, slow laugh as well. Ha, ha, ha? The last ha sounded more like a, you're not joking, are you, sort of ha. Not a very funny sort of ha. Mum swallowed her food and stared at Dad for a second. You don't get it. We're vegans after these meals. What did I just say, guys? We're vegans after this, miss? We're vegans after this meal. Canada took another slow bite of her pancake. Luckily, she didn't spit it out this time, but she did react quickly. What, you think we're fat? That's a cool message to pass on to your own children. Oh dear. Mum laid a hand on Canada's. It's hard to take in once you've first been told. I was the same when Canada slipped a hand away from Mum's and shook it as if it were covered top to bottom with germs. When have you been vegan? You lived on a farm, so you must have eaten pig for breakfast. Leave me alone, I'm not listening. I think the same goes for Hayden. And with that, she stormed to her room. Dad sighed and cut up more pancake. She's a teenager. Don't worry, Hayden, it'll be your time soon. For what? Teenage phases, Dad dramatically explained. They're horrible, especially for us parents. Canada gets stressed about an untied shoelace, Hayden. It would be the same for you one day. Standing up from my seat, I said, I think I'm already having them. Explain, Mum implored, without looking up from her watch. Football's driving me crazy. Coach keeps on putting me as a defender, but I'm also a striker. I imitated a move I'd seen from Cristiano Ronaldo and ended up bashing the bin. I know, I'll have to speak to your coach, Dad sighed. Also, I know you're very much into being a footballer, so you need to keep fit. At least consider being vegan. I shook my head. Lionel Messi isn't vegan. He's only vegetarian during football seasons. Stop it, Mum commanded. Enough rubbish football talk and let's go to school. Grisworth Academy was my school. It was an alright place, never mind its horrible sounding name. Not as good as Ridge Meadows for school for boys. That was on the opposite side of town though. They had the whole lot, an equestrian club, a croquet club, and even a welly wanging club. It was one of the best private schools near where we lived. Apparently they had dormitories if anyone wanted to board at the school, and pyjama uniforms. Not gonna lie, the school sounds a bit snobbish. If I attend there and any of my friends found out, I'd be named Snobnose for life. Anyways, I was a helper at my school, so I was put up on the big notice board in the corridor. There was bubble writing at the top done by Selena Blackwood, the school's artist, who was also on the board. The bubble writing read our school monitors. My job was to help out with any substitute teachers and new kids, as well as with my best friend Darren. We got substitute teachers all the time, so if they needed to know where things were, we'd have to help. Sometimes I wish that I hadn't chosen to sign up for it. You had to be a monitor for at least a month before you could resign, and I'd only been a helper for a week. Some silly rule that the head teacher, Mr. Stanton, made. I was staring up at everyone on the monitor board when Darren came over. Cloakroom monitor job now open, he read. Even better, look. He pointed to Kathy Richards. She's the chair of councils, Kathy is. Not surprised, her mum's a teacher. You do know, Mr. Richard? I nodded. She's so annoying. Like mother, like daughter, Darren said. Tell me about it. Then I suddenly thought the funniest thing. Remember that time when Kathy had her earphones on but forgot to plug the wires into her phone? Darren's eyes grew wider. Oh yeah! And we heard her listen to Freddie Mercury. And then she played the Beatles, didn't she? That was awesome. It was all going fine. We were having a good laugh, till the worst possible person turned up. I do know I'm beautiful, but would you stop staring at my picture? It scared the life out of Darren and I. What? Said Darren, nearly choking. Oh, come on, Kathy, get up to date. We were looking at, Joseph. He pointed to Joseph's picture on the left of Kathy's. She blew a strand of hair out of her face as if she wasn't convinced. That freak? Nobody actually wants to be homework monitor except for him. He thinks the teachers adore him because of that small job. Everyone knows who the teachers love most. Kind of felt sorry for the poor guy. Sometimes people teased him because of his muffish ginger hair and massive round glasses. But no doubt, Kathy was right about who the teachers loved most. Brush off, Kathy, I spat. Go listen to some Queen or something. Darren spluttered with laughter, and Kathy's jaw dropped. Within seconds, she turned bright pink with embarrassment. She leaned in and whispered, How did you know I listened to them? This just made us laugh harder, which triggered Kathy's fume button. She became redder, more with anger than embarrassment. I nudged Darren as a sign to inform her of our findings, and he seemed pretty fine with it. Anything to annoy a girl, especially Kathy, was fine with him. Well, the thing is, Darren broke out in laughter before finishing his sentence. Kathy became impatient. Spit it out, Muppet. You might not want to hear this, but there was a time once when you forgot to plug your earphones into your phone. She seemed okay with it. So? That's why she wasn't screaming in anger. She didn't understand the point we were trying to make. And you were listening to music. You can tell that Kathy was struggling to find ways to slither out of the situation. And if I'm right, she didn't have much success. If I was truly listening to songs, who were the artists, huh? Queen, Beatles. I remember a bit of ABBA as well, Darren chimed provokingly. Kathy was now turning back to pink, as if the situation had just happened. Well, Miss Pilati said that those kind of music genres sharpen your brain, she huffed. I facepalmed myself, loving every second. That's Mozart. Mozart, Queen, same thing, she murmured. They're honestly not. Whatever, Kathy groaned, and she strode off in a stride. Darren looked at me. I could see a laugh already beginning to bubble up, but before he could let out a single note, the bell rang for the first lesson. Well, see you at lunch, he sighed. Darren and I were never in the same class because the teachers knew we wouldn't do our work if we were together, and we had to lend a hand at least twice a week. Bye. We walked in opposite directions to our classrooms. I met up with Toby, my desk partner, on the way. Yo, Hayden, he yelled, putting an arm around my neck. You okay, mate? I snorted, as I've ever been. Toby wasn't my best friend, but he was better than nothing. He had short, brown, wavy hair that always seemed to stay put in one direction. What's your secret? I'd asked him once. Gel, he said, as if it were an ingredient in a magical potion. 6 layers of any gel of your choice. The first class was English, and guess what? We had a substitute teacher. Just my luck. Bonjour, class 9B, the teacher announced. Her accent was foreign and it sounded French. Plus, she said bonjour, and I'm pretty sure that meant hello or whatever in French. I am Madame Bernard. This is pronounced Madame Bernard. As you might tell, I am Francis. Toby looked at me and smirked. She's a sub-teacher. Nodded, but I wish I didn't know. Why couldn't Taryn have her? I'm rubbish with foreigners, I moaned. Toby nudged me. Don't be so rude. I sighed. I know. Don't mean to come across rude. It's just that I go blank whenever someone talks to me or asks me a question in a foreign language. Remember when we had Mr. Gonzalez and he asked me to say a full sentence in Spanish? Yes, and you freaked out. Why? I rolled my eyes. Because I'm rubbish at languages, especially French. I'd much rather stick with English, thank you very much. Just concentrate really hard and you'll wrap your head around it eventually. I'll try for the sake of shutting you up. Now shush before we get... Boys! Madame Bernard yelled, looking our way. Yeah, I grumbled. Do you want to do the lesson? Madame Bernard questioned, trying to pull a serious face that ended up looking as if she was constipated. Pronounced lesson, by the way. Since you are talking, you must already know what we are doing? No, Madame Bernard, we both muttered. Are you going to stop the... what shall I call it? The chatter? She made a chatting sign with her hands. Toby and I looked at each other. Yes, Madame Bernard. Yes, Madame Bernard, I mumbled. Hopefully, Madame Bernard, Toby quietly muttered. Madame Bernard's face turned the colour of blood. She was raging. Excuse me? So what is your name? Toby? Toby, shall I move you to a different table by yourself? No, Madame Bernard. She sighed. I understand that you do not want to do the French all the time, but it is important that you learn it because when you go to France, it will be very useful. The teacher had an accent that made her voice falter when pronouncing some words. Toby mumbled in agreement once more, which allowed us to move on. So what is an idiom? She asked. Maisie raised her hand. You mean an idiom? The teacher shook her head as a sorry. I'm not very good at the English language. Maisie chuckled. Well, an idiom is a saying that's not actual, like saying the maths test was a piece of cake. Definitely wasn't, Mitchell interrupted. The test wasn't actually a piece of cake, it's just a saying. Madame Bernard nodded. Good. Are there any rewards if you do something très bon? Trevor started. Let's just say that our school is super negative, so we don't have any good rewards. Madame Bernard nodded slowly. Ah, I see. I will give you praise instead, eh? Well done. What is his name? Maisie, and I wouldn't mind a scholarship or two. The teacher ignored the silly comment. Well done, Maisie. For the rest of the lesson, every object that Madame Bernard wanted I had to fetch, which was a real pain since she was more annoying than Canada. Okay, maybe not more annoying, level at most. She asked me to find her breath mints one time. I could tell why she wanted one. That is all I'm going to read. There are still 20 or so more pages in the chapter. We got to page 14 there. So if you want to carry on with your copy of the book, you can do that if you'd like. And you can find us here. And those are our social media pages. And you will also be able to find links for our books right here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed those 14 pages of my book. Make sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell so you get notified every time we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!